and hop on this live so we can answer some questions. All right. So we can answer some questions about how to velocitize your personal economy. How do we do it? How do we do it? All right. We just want to hop on today and do that. We want to answer those questions. A lot of people have the questions about how in the world are we going to get out of our current state? What are we going to do, CJ, about our economy? Look at what our economy is doing. Listen, first of all, it's not your economy. Mm-mm. You do not spend like the rest of the world spends. What's going on, struggling hustler? All right. You don't spend like the way the world spends, remember? You got out of that system. You got out of that slave system. You are now a velocity banker. So, as far as the economy goes, right, that's not you. Not at all. Because you know now how to spend. You know now how to invest. You know now how to use your credit cards and your lines of credit. You know that now. You know to put your income inside of your line of credit. You know to spend from your line of credit and not your checking account. So, as far as the dangers of the economy and how, it's going down and all of this, it does not apply to you. Not at all. Not at all. Mm-mm. No, it doesn't. It can't. It can't apply to you. These people are not utilizing their credit correctly. They're cutting up their credit cards. They're cutting up their... Listen, folks, can I just say something? I just want to say something, all right? And I'm not spreading hate. I'm not throwing shade. Listen, I'm in the shade, okay? It's about 90 degrees here. I'm in the shade, folks. I do want to share this with you, though. If you cut up your credit cards, you cut up your leverage. Somebody hashtag that. Cut up your credit cards equals cut up your leverage. You're cutting up your leverage. And we don't ever want to do that as velocity bankers, because when we do that, what's going on, Patrick Joyner? Yeah, man, it's good to see you. All right? When you cut up your credit cards, when you cut up your lines of credit, you're cutting up your leverage. You understand? So we never want to cut up our credit cards, ever, ever. As I'm going to show you over the coming weeks, I'm going to show you how keeping your credit cards and utilizing them wisely as you do. It doesn't matter even if you have them maxed out, okay? As long as you're doing it the velocity banking way, there's no way that you would ever be going under. When you utilize your finances wisely, it is going to yield the result of eliminating your debt, building your wealth, and enhancing your credit. That's the result of utilizing the velocity banking method, okay? Absolutely. So when you're utilizing the velocity banking method, you're going to need a cash flow positive at first. Now, it doesn't matter if you're cash flow negative right now, that's okay. If you're cash flow negative right now, just realize that it's not always going to be that way. When you get into the cash flow positive, that's when you start paying things down. You'll still need to utilize your credit cards even if you're cash flow negative, simply because this is how you're going to build credit. You're showing the lenders that this guy or gal can utilize these cards and they're utilizing them wisely. You say, well, CJ, I can only pay the minimum payment. You know what? Pay the minimum payment. Stay under the 30%. I sure am, Jesus. Yes. Hey, man, you know what? I got to go ahead and release to you that video, man. I sure do. What Jesus is talking about is the adjustable rate mortgage, okay? And we're going to make sure, man, you know what? Let's go ahead and release it to you, Jesus, man, okay? We got to go ahead and do that for you. Absolutely. Velocity banking and adjustable rate mortgage on another level. Thank you so much, Jesus, for that. Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and give that to you, man, because we just were looking at that too. Mm-mm-mm. Not a coincidence at all. But as we continue on in the economy, right, just know that it's not going to be like that for you because you're utilizing the velocity. See, you have a velocitized economy. It's not the economy that these people have. The economy that these people have is they take their checking account, they take their income, they put it inside of their checking account, right? They put it inside their checking account, and then what happens? Then they pay the credit card, which they still think as a bill. They pay their mortgage. They pay the groceries. They pay their barber. They segregate their costs. They segregate their cash, and they're out of money. They have more month than money at the end of the month. And so that's not the way you operate. You operate differently. You recognize that the line of credit and a loan is actually one payment. One payment. Mm-hmm. Don't worry. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you in the coming weeks, okay? Now let's get on to something even more interesting. Jesus asked me another question. What's going on? What's going on, Zanpoli? Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, cut up your credit cards, you cut up your leverage. Ooh, interest only plus velocity banking also. Sounds like to me, Jesus needs to be a teacher as well, man. Hmm? I absolutely do consultations. Air Max, what's going on, Austin E? I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Okay? This is what we're gonna have you do. We're gonna have you go ahead and go through the channels, and I'll actually leave, and it's actually in the description below where you should go, man. Really. Even if you need a credit card, right? If you need a credit card, we can connect you to that as well. What's going on, Deborah? Good to see you. If you need a credit card, we have that. Okay? We'll direct you on where to go. If you need to build your credit, we have that. Okay? Don't be concerned about that. We've got that. Absolutely. JD, what's going on, man? Good to see you. CJ, what's wrong, man? No, I was trying to think of the website that you could go to. But it's much better if I go ahead and leave it in the description. That way you can click on it. You can just get in there, and I can go ahead and email you back, man. I email them personally. Personally. Yes. Hey, it's good to be on here, man. It's good to be on here. Is it really? Is it hot out there? Oh, man, it's like 90 degrees already, man. It's like 8 in the morning here, you know? That's why I'm in the shade. Well, there's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people that are hot in their finances now, you know, and it's getting too hot. They're burning a hole through their pocket. The gasoline prices burning a hole through their pocket. But the secret to that is making sure that you pay with someone else's money. Yeah, the secret to that is making sure that you pay with someone else's money. That's what credit cards are for. That's what lines of credit are for. That's what unsecured debt is for. Revolving accounts. Make sure they're revolving. Because when they give you that 5,000, when they give you that 10,000, guess what? You can use that, and when you use it wisely, guess what happens after that? You become a victim of a credit line increase. You sure do. Uh-huh. You sure do. And then you go even higher, okay? And that's what we want. We want to go even higher. Have you ever been a victim of a credit line increase? I have. And listen, I have never more enjoyed being a victim than when I became a victim of a credit line increase. Absolutely. And so that's how you can hedge against inflation. Make sure that you're utilizing your credit wisely. Remember, with unsecured lines of credit, you're not earning them. You didn't earn that by working. You earned that by your reputation. You earned it by your reputation of making sure that you're making your payments on time, staying under that 30% utilization, okay? The list and the mix of accounts that you have, okay? You're keeping all that in mind. And guess what? The lenders are looking and they're saying, we have to give that person more money. They're responsible. Hmm? And they want you to overpay in interest, but you know how to use your credit card. You know how to use your lines of credit. All right? And so you use that to your advantage and not their advantage. Okay? And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Deborah says, how often are you going to be chatting with us this summer? Got lots of questions. I wrote them down, but didn't know you were going to be on. Frantically looking for the questions. Oh, Deborah, hey, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Because I'm going to be clicking, right, and making sure that have that you have the site that you need, okay, in order to get the answers to all of your questions, okay? And I will go ahead and I'll go over the questions. I will answer them personally. Absolutely. Don't worry. I'll leave the link below. Sure will. And you can even ask the questions right now, all right? But listen, it's getting too hard. Yeah, look, George said it best. Having a good report card is no joke. Oh, that's so true. Air Max 29, can you get a credit increase using a cash advance off your CC? You sure can. Because, why? Why is that? Why can you get a credit line increase using your cash advance? Anybody know that? Because it reports. Absolutely. The report, okay? The report is where you get the score from. So if it reports correctly, right? And you're like, hey, this person did a cash advance, paid it back that month or that day or whatever, that's going on the report. Now, what happens when they don't report it? Well, what doesn't get reported doesn't get scored. And I got to say that again. What doesn't get reported doesn't get scored. Absolutely. Absolutely. So as long as they're reporting that cash advance, that's going to increase your score as you pay it back accordingly. Does that make sense? What doesn't get reported does not get scored. Very true. Very true. I wrote my book, What the Credit Card Companies Don't Want You to Know. And on the book cover is a wolf. And as you read the book, you'll find out that is exactly what they were, man. Man, back in the day, woo, them jokers were mobbing. You talk about mobsters. They had to get reined in. My word. They had to get reined in heavily. And so they're not as bad as they were. And definitely they can be used to our advantage now, right? Very much so, because of the rules that are in place, because of the Consumer Financial Bureau and different things like that. We appreciate the the acts that have the Fair Credit Reporting Acts, that have been placed in the the bureaus and the reporting agencies. My word, man, it was just unbelievable, actually, what they were able to get away from. Can I just divert just a little bit off of what they did? Double billing. Double billing. You say, well, CJ, what's double billing? So basically what they would do is, you know how you get your bill now? Well, these jokers would take, let's say your bill right now, right, was like $60. Well, they would calculate it to where you actually would owe more. And because of the math, they weren't exactly lying, right? Because the math, the way they calculated it was like, oh, okay, well, I can see how that would be legitimate. But the law was like, no, 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 that's kind of shady. It's kind of like when you go to your lender and you say, hey, I'm getting this mortgage for 3%. Yay! And the lender's like, yeah, it's better than your credit card that's at 21%. Velocity bankers are like, wait a minute, did you just say that? 3% you're talking about is amortized, and the 21% is simple interest. So it's not at all better than the credit card. See what I'm saying? But they want you ignorant. And that's what they were basically doing with the double billing. They were causing people to pay more during their billing cycle when really it was just $60. These jokers would be like, no, 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 it's not really $60. You see, according to the math. What? According to the math? Jokers? That's like saying you get paid $64,000, $70,000 a year, but you're only seeing like 50,000. You know? It's like they forgot to tell you, oh, that's gross. That's gross. Yeah, it is gross. Jokers. You should have told me that. No, but see the math, come on, man. 50,000 versus 70,000. That's a $20,000 difference. Am I right or no? Crazy, crazy. Transparency, man. That's what we need. Notice, darkness has to hide behind anything that's not transparent. Darkness hides behind anything that's not transparent. I'm telling you, that's why you got to read, right? The fine print, because the big print gives, but the fine print takes away. All right, and that's what we go over, right? In our classes, when we do a consult. If you don't feel like reading the fine print, I can do that, right? Just let me know. We do have a class out, Velocity Banking 2.0, that a lot of people are getting, and they're receiving just a lot of help. I have one client today who's got a consultation with me today. She's going to get a lot of help. I still got to get with Ron Trell. Come on, Ron Trell. Huh? You don't like me or something, man? You scheduled an appointment with me? Don't worry, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Huh? I'm going to call you up one day, man. And I'm going to be like, hey, you remember me? Let's go ahead and get these numbers working. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. So, but that's what they go over. We go over that. All right? So let's go ahead and answer some more questions here. Matter of fact, let's go back. Listen, I got on a rant. Please forgive me. We do appreciate every one of these questions. Can you get a credit increase using a cash advance? We answered that, Air Max. Good, good, good. How long after getting a hard hit should you wait to apply for another credit card? I feel stuck and held back. Okay. Thank you so much, Deborah. That's a great question. So how long should you apply once you get hit for another credit card? What I want you to do is I want you to actually click on one of the links. It'll say need a credit card, right? If you need a credit card, Deborah, just go ahead and click on that link. But let me answer your question. How long after getting a hard hit? That's a good question. That's a very good question. Now, did you know that after those hard inquiries and you do not get the line of credit, that you could actually dispute that? If you did not get the line of credit. Yeah, absolutely. Because remember, it's about a 5-point hit. It's a 5-point hit of the inquiries when you have a hard inquiry. So go ahead and wait. I mean, if you really need the credit, I wouldn't wait that long. Maybe a month would be good if you really need the credit, because the credit scores can go up and down. Okay, we actually specialize in making sure those credit scores go up, okay, through the correspondence that we send and the different methods that we use here at Velocity Consulting. So we do the credit repair. If you need help with that, just let me know, okay? We'll go ahead and place our information in the description link below. Absolutely. How can I pay my car loan with line of credit? I'm so glad that you asked that very, very important question. All right. So you're going to be paying your car loan, okay, with your line of credit like this. Once you receive the income, you're going to go ahead and put that in your checking account. Okay. And then from the checking account, what else are you going to do? You say, well, my line of credit is full. Oh, Well, guess what? Take what's in your line of credit, pay the car loan. But don't just pay the car loan monthly. Remember what else you'll be doing. You have to utilize that line of credit. Let's say you have a $5,000 or even a $10,000 line of credit, Deborah. You take a chunk that you feel comfortable with. Take a chunk of that line of credit and place it towards the principal. That's what pays it down dramatically, is placing it towards the principal. Because once you're placing it towards the principal gets smaller. And what else gets smaller? The interest. You see, the principal is the host that the interest feeds off of. The interest is the parasite. Okay? And once you shrink that host, that principal, so you also shrink the parasite or the interest. Okay? So that's how we're going to use our line of credit. We're going to take a chunk and we're going to place it towards that principal that's on the loan. You say, but wait a minute, right? I'm also paying monthly. Yes. Income minus expenses equals what? Cash flow. And that is what's going to pay down your line of credit. Excellent question. Should we slow down on getting lines of credit due to rate hike or keep on going? So thank you, George. 3 to 5 credit cards I'd recommend for the personal side. Infinity credit cards and credit lines for the business credit side. Remember, on the personal credit side, they're going to look at that as, oh, this person is whack. Now, if you have more than that, that's okay. All right? Because remember, it's the mix of counts that you have. So as long as you have the installment loans, as long as you have the credit cards, as long as you have those lines of credit, they like seeing that you're paying all of them off. So even if you have 8, 10, 20 personal credit cards, right? That's okay. As long as you're paying them, right? Off. And as long as you are 30% below 30% credit utilization, okay? That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Okay? Hey, no problem, Air Max. Yep. That's okay. That's okay. What's going on, Sergio? Absolutely. Hey, we still have to connect, man. What are you talking about? Sergio, we still got to connect, man. Absolutely. I actually wanted to schedule something special for you, man, with Trish. It's gonna be either Trish or Richard, man. It's part of my team. So we wanted to schedule something special with you, man. Please let me know what times are available to you, and I'll go ahead and work around your schedule, man, since working around mine doesn't work. It's all good. That's my fault. You didn't get it? Okay. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and make sure that you do that dispute, Deborah, okay? Once this is over, I'll make sure all the links are down here below, okay? Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's get a further deep dive, okay, with you, if you don't mind, and we'll go ahead and pinpoint what you need to do and how you need to attack that. I'm actually getting excited and I'm looking at things right now to see how we can help you. Okay, we're gonna make sure you get out of that trap. Okay, now don't be concerned if you don't get the velocity banking method right now. No one did. You know why? We weren't taught this. We were taught to be slaves. Okay. So when you're a slave, okay, it takes another mindset. It takes a whole nother learning to be free. Okay, you got to be made free, and that's okay if you don't get it right now. Don't worry about it. I didn't get it at first. You know, I was looking up in my bedroom. I was like, man, goodness, what in the world? I don't get it until I got it. Okay, repetition, man. It's the mother of learning, Deborah. Don't give up. No. You see, this is not the time to give up, folks. Have you noticed that? Don't Do not give up. If you're not getting it at first, don't worry, you will as you continue. All right? Just remember these three aspects: income, line of credit, loan. Okay? You got $10,000 in your line of credit. What is it doing sitting there? Utilize it. Deploy it. Okay? Period. Deploy it. You understand? Deploy that line of credit. The chunking principle is you take, let's say, $5,000 and you chunk it towards the principal on your car loan. So let's say your car loan was $15,000. Now it's $10,000. Okay? The next time you chunk it, it'll be what? Closer to $5,000. Huh? You'll be paying that car off in no time because you've chunked it. You've utilized your line of credit. That unsecured line of credit that you didn't earn. That's someone else's money. All right? And you can also utilize it with your checking account. You can also utilize it with a secured line of credit. It's all about the timing of it. All right? Listen, folks, we are with you. All right? And we're going to make sure that you get it like others have. I know one person, they were like, man, I paid off $148,000 in 1 year. $148,000. How did you do that? Oh, the velocity banking method. It's no big deal now. You see, once you get that vision, no one can stop you. And you won't be stopped. Deborah, I can't wait to hear your testimony. I can't wait. Ustin E said, I took out HELOC first position. Last year, the total was $120K, but I still owe $50K. That was used to pay off the mortgage. Should I keep paying it off with my income difference? Ooh, that's very good. HELOC first position last year. All right, man. I like that. Can I go ahead and repeat that? He said he took out the HELOC first position last year. The total was $120K. Okay? But I still owe $50K that was used to pay off the mortgage. Should I keep paying it off with my income difference? I tell you what, paying it with your income difference. You're talking about the cash flow, right? You're talking about the cash flow, Estini? Or watch this. Man, he was wise. He got a first position HELOC. Yes, absolutely. Keep paying it off, man. Keep paying it off with the income difference. Keep paying it off. Income difference, the cash flow. Income minus expenses. It's already getting paid off. What? By the remaining that's inside of that home equity line of credit, HELOC. Very good question. Is the 30% of utilization per card or total cards? Total and individual. Total and individual. They're looking at both. Absolutely. Jeanette, don't be concerned about that. Okay? If you're a little bit over, that's all right. Remember what your priorities are. If your priority is making sure those loans are paid off, get those loans paid off. Get them off. You know? That way you'll have, for your credit, right, and your reputation, the loans are paid off, they're done, right? And then you can build that 30%. You can make sure that 30% goes down. You know, another way to make sure that 30% goes down, or that utilization goes down? Get more credit. Get more credit. Keep your credit cards. Okay? Keep them. Okay, but can you pay a loan with a credit card? It doesn't give me the option. You sure can. It's called a balance transfer. You can talk to the financing department and let them know you want to do a balance transfer. That's right. But it's a pro. or cons of first position HELOCs, of first position line of credit. What is the difference between first position versus any position? Oh man, Robert, that's a really, very, very good question. The difference between the first position versus any position is the first position HELOC replaces your mortgage. When you're talking about HELOCs, okay? When you're talking about HELOCs, it replaces your mortgage. So you no longer have a mortgage. And yes, we do those too, right? You won't find many banks that do them because they make more money off of mortgages. They make more money off of suckers. I mean, they make more money off of debt pledges. Keep on messing, because that's what mortgage means. But they make more money off of mortgages. All right? Absolutely. So the first position versus any other position is, the first position is created to help you wealth build. The other position is to help the bankers and the lenders wealth build. And you can tell that by the way the interest is calculated. On the mortgage, it's calculated amortized, and on the line of credit, the HELOC, it's simple interest. Okay? And make sure you ask your bankers that too, because I don't know, like, you might as well just make sure that you're getting connected with me first, right? Because we have a bank that can definitely assist you out in making sure that your home is in the first lien HELOC position, and we explain that to you and everything before you move forward. All right? Hey, no problem, Deborah. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Microphone Smith, very good question, man. Thank you so much for being on here. So, for the velocity banking to be effective, your income has to be more than your outgo, right? Yes and no. Okay. If you're in a position where not at this time you're still having negative income come in, or negative cash flow come in, that's okay. Okay. Keep on doing your best with the credit cards that you have now. All right. Knowing that it's not always going to be like that. It does work best, okay, if you have more income than your outgo. So that's a very good question. Do car loans usually have penalties for early payoff? You know what? That's a very good question, Struggling Hustler. So it all depends on that dealership, right? That's why you want to make sure you ask them, hey, there's no penalties for the early payoff, right? Right? Absolutely. We want to do that. When credit cards offer balance transfers, is that a good thing? Air Max? No, that's not a good thing. That's a great thing. You know? To pay out to the, yeah. Go ahead and save the $1,200. Just use the cash flow from the income to pay off that $50K. Absolutely. We want you to do that. We want you to absolutely do that. All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and not be hot anymore. So we're going to go ahead and go inside and enjoy the inside. All right, folks, you enjoy the inside as well. Make sure that air conditioning is on. Okay, jump in the pool if you have to. All right, and we will see y'all later. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see y'all soon. And let me know, man, if you like stuff like this. You know what I mean? You like getting your questions answered in the morning. Make sure your car's paid off, in the morning. Make sure you have wealth built up. Make sure you get those consultations in. Just let me know if you like stuff like this or not, and we will operate accordingly. God bless, and you have a good one.